Gonzaga Hoops is brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. The clock never winds down at Northern Quest. Enjoy Vegas-style gaming, millions in monthly jackpots, great restaurants, spa, and luxury rooms. Plan your winter getaway at northernquest.com.
And welcome back. Beautiful images of Jenny Craig Pavilion and the campus of the University of San Diego. Dan's played many games over his career. We've all been down there calling games. Starting lineups: Ayayi, Suggs, Kispert, Watson, and Drew Timme for the #1 ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs. Marion Humphrey, Ben Pyle, Finn Sullivan, Josh Perez, and Vladimir Pinchuk for San Diego. This is a wounded lineup. The bench not real deep tonight, to say the least, Dan.
Yeah, they are a team tonight with 7 scholarship players. Sam Scholl will not make an excuse. One of their players that they rely upon quite a bit, Frankie Hughes, a transfer from Duquesne, is out as well with family personal reasons, but that doesn't affect or change Gonzaga's approach.
No, it won't. There's head coach Mark Few in his 22nd season as the head coach of Gonzaga, 614 wins. Seems like just yesterday we were celebrating his 100th career win, now with 614.
A future Hall of Famer, that's for sure. He's done an incredible job, not only as an assistant learning under Coach Monson and Fitzgerald, but then just taking off. For Gonzaga, you got to get off to a good start. You got to get bench production, which will be different with Umar Ballo out tonight. San Diego, you got to make shots, especially early, to put some doubt and fear in Gonzaga, but also to build your confidence. And San Diego also needs to slow the pace.
Yeah, make some shots, right? You can ill afford to have a tough night offensively against Gonzaga, but you got to limit possessions. You can't let the Zags get out to 90. If they do that, they get past 80, they're going to win the game.
Well, Gonzaga scores almost 95 points a game, plays at the 7th fastest pace in the country, according to Ken Palm. You can't let them get on track early, just like they did on the road at University of Portland about 2 weeks ago, where they scored 116 points.
And Timme there with a little help defensively. And the turnaround, the fadeaway by Ben Pyle is short. And a long rebound and another chance now for San Diego.
And you see a second chance opportunity and how slow San Diego is to get into offense on that second part of the possession.
There's Humphrey. Jump shot off the glass. Our first bucket of the game goes to San Diego.
Well, he's quick. He's an explosive athlete. Comes from a family of athletes. His father played in the NFL. His brother in the NFL currently.
And Kispert with the answer, the drive high off the glass. And that's good. So a 2-2 game. And a good start offensively for both teams. And you can already tell, Dan, that San Diego, they're trying to take some time off the clock. Very deliberate possessions here to start the game. Humphrey again. Timme may have got a hand on that shot. Watson with it for Gonzaga. And Jalen Suggs on the attack. And he hit that end line, so it goes to San Diego.
That's been a little bit of a concern here in WCC play for Gonzaga, is Jalen Suggs turning it over a little bit more than Coach Few would like. Part of it is balancing out when to be aggressive and when just to make the simple play.
And some pressure on the ball there for Gonzaga, but USD doing a good job to get the ball across. 15 on the shot clock. And here's Ben Pyle. The deep downtown three goes. And San Diego off to an impressive start. They lead 5-2.
Well, mentioned it off the top with the keys. They need to get off to a good start and play at a slow pace. And 2.5 minutes in, San Diego can check both of those in the positive direction.
And now Humphrey takes it away for USD, and another opportunity for the Toreros. That's Josh Parrish, number 4, with the ball to Pyle, back to Humphrey. Down low to the post, off the glass, shot good for Vladimir Pinchuk. And USD up by 5 on Gonzaga.
Only the 3rd time on the season Gonzaga has trailed in league play. Usually they're the ones getting out to an early lead.
Anton Watson back to Suggs. This a deep three, and the teardrop goes. That may have clipped the lights.
And those are the threes that will build his confidence from beyond the arc. A little bit of a dig down double on Watson, the willing kick out, and then Suggs catches it on great balance, hands and feet ready.
Humphreys with great quickness working on Ayayi. Parrish off the glass, missed it. Watson clears it. Ayayi with it for Gonzaga. And now right to the post. Timmy goes to work. Back to the middle. Jump hook falls off. And the rebound for the Toreros, and they come back. Just underway at this Jenny Craig Pavilion. They call it the Slim Jim in San Diego. Deflection. But Sullivan picks it up down the lane in the hammer. And USD has come to play, Dan Dick.
The Torrey Pines High product makes you think of former Zag Jack Beach, who's celebrating a birthday today, also from Torrey Pines. Impressive finish.
And a whistle, and it looks like our first foul of the game. 15:53 to play in the first half at the Jenny Craig Pavilion in San Diego. Number 1 Gonzaga trailing USD by 4, and the highlight of the game right here, Finn Sullivan down the lane in the hammer. USD up early. And welcome back. Time for tonight's Arby's fan trivia question. Brought to you by Arby's. We have the meats. First game of the season, Corey Kispert scored 23 points, joined the 1,000 career point club. How many total Bulldogs make up the Zags 1,000 point club? 46, 35, 52, or 40? Wow. I wouldn't have guessed it was that high. Text your answer to 27297, and we'll have the answer a little bit later for you. There is the great Corey Kispert. Flow looking good. You must love that, being a guy who owns barbershops and who was probably really famous for your flow as well back in the day.
Yeah, unfortunately, as a current student athlete, I can't help him with that, but in the future, maybe we can get him involved. But he is climbing up the career list for three-pointers made, for total wins. Needs 4 threes to catch John Riley, the Australian sharpshooter on the 3 points made list at Gonzaga. Riley, now an associate head coach at UC Santa Barbara, a terrific coach. He will be a head coach soon.
And Ben Pyle denying that pass to the post to Timmy, and another chance for USD. Third turnover of the early game for Gonzaga. They trail by 4, and there's 8 on the shot clock. USD's got to get busy. To the post. Shot falls off, missed by Yavuz Goltakin. Kispert thought about the 3. It should be pointed out he doesn't have the headband on tonight. And he slipped there. A foul is called. Kispert went down in an odd manner. It's good to see him get up without pain, but no headband.
Well, with San Diego slowing the pace, making their first few shots, as well as you saw it in that last possession, they are locked in, getting back in defensive transition. Sam Scholl told me yesterday, we have to take away layups. We can't give Kispert transition threes, and we can't allow Timmy easy post touches
like that
in transition. That on the baseline out of bounds. At some point, a double must come. You can't give Timmy 7 or 8 dribbles. He's going to get to his sweet spot every time.
But your defense has to stay between the ball and the rim.
Good point, yes. That's one of the first things you learn in YMCA ball, second grade. Ball you man.
Yeah, Finn Sullivan to the post. And the easy bucket this time for Yavuz Goltakin. And USD remains in front by 4.
USD doing a nice job of spreading the floor right now. It's making rotations long. Gonzaga hasn't been able to get there.
And Timmy with a two-handed flush at the other end. USD off to a great start, except against Timmy. Their defense giving up easy buckets to him.
Well, credit Nemhart that time. A terrific left-hand bounce pass when help stepped up.
Back-to-back buckets for Drew Timme. He's got 4. It's a 2-point game. There's Calcaterra. And Rodriguez is fouled by Jalen Suggs. And that is number 1 on Jalen. Suggs averaging 13.9 points a game, 5.2 rebounds, 6th time in 9 weeks this year. Freshman of the week in the West Coast Conference.
Well, no weak side recognition for San Diego. Nembhard, the easy left-hand bounce pass to Timme for the 2-hand finish over the top. And it's so hard. I say, where's the help side for USD? Well, the fact Gonzaga has so many outside 3-point shooting threats, as well as guys that you've got to be aware of in cuts, you want to stay home as opposed to be an early help.
Ball off of GU, so 14 seconds on the shot clock. USD basketball. Sullivan on the inbound. And the turnover there. So it's Gonzaga basketball. Didn't quite see what it was.
I couldn't tell. We didn't get word if it was a 5-second call or an illegal screen. That's one of the challenges, calling it from 2,000 miles away here in KHQ studios.
Stepped out of bounds, we're being told. So the turnover, they go right back to Timme. He's got the size advantage down. Missed the jump hook.
Well, we're seeing USD is going to play Timme one-on-one in the low block. We'll see if Gonzaga makes a steady diet of giving him the ball.
And another whistle and a foul against USD. And I believe it's on Yavuz Goltekin. 11-9, 13-16 to play in the first half. That possession there, you saw USD trying to push the ball to get into their offense. I'm not sure that's what Sam Scholl wants tonight.
Well, I think you want to be opportunistic in pushing it if you can get a layup, but you can't be out of character. But terrific job there on the UCLA cut. Yayi finding Nembhard. A terrific set for Gonzaga.
Yeah, another wide open look inside for Gonzaga. And we are tied at 11.
And this is where Gonzaga can be so difficult to scout. They play free at times where they get in transition and no plays are called. Then they can go to continuity ball screen action. They can go to UCLA actions. They can go to pick and roll sets. They have so many different ways they can beat you.
Yayi. Here's Aaron Cook on the floor for GU number 4. Zags work it around. Kispert, jump shot. A bit short, rebounded. And back comes Calcaterra for San Diego. Impressive start so far for the Toreros. And here's a deep 3 by Calcaterra that's off. And Kispert, this is his game. Oh, short. And the rebound off the transition 3 miss.
I know we talk about Ken Palm at different times and efficiency. I would love to be able to break down, whether through Ken Palm or Synergy video, what Kispert shoots on left wing transition 3s. It's got to be 75–80% on the season.
Yeah, that's his game, and that's what we've come to really love from Corey Kispert. Zags offense working well in that half court. Nembhard with the bucket. Tied at 11. And welcome back. We're tied at 11 between number 1 Gonzaga and San Diego. Here's the answer to tonight's Arby's trivia question. Corey Kispert became the 46th Zag in history to score 1,000 points in their career. Frank Burgess, the first Zag to reach the milestone, finishing his career with 2,196. 46 Zags have scored 1,000 points or more in their basketball careers in this uniform. Pretty impressive.
Very impressive. The guys who've had an impact on this program from Coach Few's early days, the Jeff Goss, Jeff Browns, Scott Snyders, John Rillies, to guys who are currently making tremendous careers in the NBA. Kelly Olynyk, Domantas Sabonis, to these guys. There's been so many good players and good people that have been a part of this program.
Pinchuk a long way away from the bucket. And the handoff to Rodriguez. Down the lane, off the glass, falls off, rebounded by Cook for Gonzaga. Ayayi.
This is almost a 5-guard lineup now with Watson at the 5. I'd be curious if at some point maybe they tested out with Kispert at the 5.
And a whistle. The shot was blocked by Josh Parrish. Foul called on GU. And I think it was on Anton Watson. I think I just heard the PA announcer say that. So foul goes on him. We will not see Omar Ballo tonight. Umar has got a thumb injury. We're being told he's day-to-day, but we will not see him play in this game tonight. So they're a little thin again at that position, and they come into the season thin.
Yeah, shows us why Watson now is at the 5 with this lineup. I like the fact with this 5 on the floor, you pick up the pace, you try to get some traps, three-quarter court, but you've got to protect on the roll action. Pinchuk getting free and the nice finish.
Impressed with this start by San Diego. They're back in front 13-11. Kispert wanted to go down low and then traveled. And he looks with some dismay at the official. Not sure he agrees with that call. Turnover number 3, actually number 4 against Gonzaga.
Well, they switched the pick and roll, and then Suggs probably needed to bump Pinchuk on the roll action. Late on the recovery, allowing the 2 points for San Diego.
Zags have hit 5 of their first 10 shots to start this game. USD 6 of their first 14. They have a 1 rebound advantage. And another whistle and another foul against GU. This will go against Watson. And again, that's his second personal foul. And this could be a big issue for head coach Mark Few. With Ballo not playing tonight, if Watson gets into foul trouble, we're going to see a lot of 4 guards tonight. Maybe 5 at some point.
100% agree. I would not be surprised to see Kispert at some point at the 5 and really spacing the floor and playing free. With that, though, you got to make sure you rebound and you communicate defensively when you switch.
Pinchuk with the drive on Timmy. Sullivan lines up the 3 and hits it over Cook. And USD now with their largest lead of this game at 16-11.
We mentioned in the open.
It ties their largest lead.
Been a topsy-turvy college basketball season. You knew San Diego was going to come out ready to play. Gonzaga has yet to match their energy and intensity.
And it's the execution offensively by USD that has been impressive. Here's Suggs doing a lot as Kispert with the cut in the back. Ball goes out of bounds. It's Gonzaga basketball, but just 2 on the shot clock.
This is where great preparation and practice allows you to get a good look with 2 on the shot clock on a baseline out of bounds. But collapse, find the open shooter. Sullivan continuing a nice night.
Yeah, Finn Sullivan with 5 points. He leads San Diego in scoring. Here's Nembhard. And the offensive rebound by Timmy off the glass. He missed it. Got it back, left hand up. It falls off, tipped back by Timmy. And now he'll go to the free throw line, and his rebound stats going through the roof on that possession. His field goal percentage plummeting.
Well, I'm sure he'd rather have just made the first one. And this is something that, quite frankly, you are going to see. We've seen it a lot in college basketball early this year, but you're going to see it even more with no fans in the building. And you go on the road in what's typically a great environment because everybody's ready to knock off Gonzaga. Can you create a scenario where you're bringing your own energy, your own excitement? Gonzaga has seemed to be just a little bit flat in the first 10 minutes or so.
And Drew Timmy now with 5 points as he connects on his first free throw attempt of this half. Joel Ayayi checking back into the game for Gonzaga. One of 2 for Drew Timmy. It's been an interesting place over the years for Gonzaga to go play. Of recent history, it's been a Gonzaga domination. But there was a time going to the Jenny Craig Pavilion. Nembhard with the takeaway and the flush at the other end. And maybe a play like that gets Gonzaga's energy up. 2-point game at 16-14.
They need something, and Nembhard, such a high IQ, does a nice job of taking the scouting report and acting upon it. Gets in the passing lane there for the steal and a bucket, but another big three for USD.
Yeah, Ben Pyle now with his second of the half. And it's now a 5-point lead again for San Diego. And Kispert on the hunt, got it to Timmy. The left hand acrobatically goes, and a chance for three for the great Drew Timme.
Wow. Kispert gave Timmy the ball in a difficult, tight spot.
Somebody without a shoe.
Yeah, somebody who is without a shoe. But the hands from Timmy to catch it and understand you don't have the ability with defense collapsing to catch pivot. You got to go right up with it. And the finish, the chance of the three-point play, and this kind of second, something you mentioned a minute ago, Greg, since 2014, the only losses Gonzaga has had in WCC play are against St. Mary's or BYU, whether in league play or league tournament play. The last team to beat them, USD in February 2014.
That shoe belonged to Vladimir Pinchuk. Number 15 for USD, if you saw it flying across the screen there. I think he's got them both on. Be tough to play this game in socks. Pyle can hit the three, but missed when he got inside. Gonzaga ball down by 2. Suggs left him wide open behind the screen. 3-ball goes. He's streaky like this.
Yeah, and when you make your first easy open one of the night like he did on the kick out from Watson, now you let the game come to you. Defense goes under on a pick and roll, which teams are starting to do against Suggs. You read it, you stop behind, you pop.
And I believe that's the first lead of this game now for Gonzaga at 20-19, and the carry is called. But Jalen Suggs, San Diego starting to feel his presence on the floor. He's hit 2 threes in this first half. That one gives Gonzaga the lead at 20-19. The game brought to you by Primera, proud partner of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Your turn, Dan. It's Nembhard, strip and flush.
Taking the scouting report, understanding what USD is trying to do, Nembhard gets in that passing lane, gets the deflection, and then it's off to the races. Nembhard, this junior transfer from Florida, started 2 years in the SEC. A season ago averaged about 11 points, 6 assists a game. Flirted with the NBA draft. When he decided to go back to college, he decided, you know what? I don't want to go to Gainesville. I want to go to Spokane and enjoy the snow, and I want to be a part of the #1 ranked Bulldog program.
Well, that part you got right, but it's not like he left a bad team in Florida.
No, not at all.
Right?
A really good Florida program headed up by Mike White. Gonzaga recruited him out of high school. They thought they had a chance. They were one of his final 3 schools. Nice to see him decide to come to the Great Northwest after 2 years in Florida.
5 turnovers now by Gonzaga in this first half. Coach Few won't be happy with that at halftime. And then USD gives it right back. Rodriguez, Jared Rodriguez, a redshirt junior out of Glendale, Arizona. Former Idaho Vandal.
Turnovers haven't been an issue for San Diego this season. Their issues have come on the glass, as well as field goal percentage, defense, as well as making shots themselves. Coming off a nice win against Portland, though, in their last outing.
What a pass from Nembhard. The bounce to Timme. Timme with the reverse, and Drew with 2 more. And I believe he's into double figures now.
Well, if our third broadcast partner was able to fit through the doors in the KHQ studio today, he would have gave that credit to the big Timme there, but a tremendous find from Nembhard. But wow.
Yeah, Suggs took it away, and Gonzaga's found some weakness at the top of the offense against USD. Those are 2 strips, first by Nembhard, and this time by Suggs, but credit to Kispert for trailing.
Yeah. Suggs, a terrific job getting in the passing lane, and then that looked like a shorter version of Tom Chambers dunking on Kevin Johnson, which quite frankly was 30 years ago today, I believe. I saw it on social media. One of the greatest dunks in NBA history. Corey Kispert, nice dunk in transition.
Love the reference to Tom Chambers, but Chambers, one of the most athletic guys of our lifetime.
Tom Chambers was a heck of a player in the NBA. Phoenix Suns.
Didn't he win the
then the Seattle
contest one
Supersonics. He may have.
Back in the day?
He may have.
Gonzaga now enjoying a 5-point lead, if they can enjoy a 5-point lead. There's Jalen Suggs. Jalen with 6 points, 1 assist, and a steal. That led to 2 for Corey Kispert. Corey with 4 points. This is Ben Pyle. And the deep 3, well short by Josh Parrish. Or is that that's Calcaterra? Julian Strother, number 0 on the floor for Gonzaga. Dan, what's he bring to this Zaga attack?
Well, he's going to become a tremendous scorer in time. He scored over 30 a game last year in high school in Las Vegas. He's continuing to learn how to simplify the game, but a versatile wing who has great size. He will be a great player in time.
And again, they're trading turnovers right now. First Gonzaga, then a tough pass there inside by Calcaterra. Gonzaga with 7 turnovers, and San Diego now with 6. Jalen Suggs. Ayayi. Joel with just 1 shot attempt so far. Here's Strother from deep in the corner. His 3 is good. Strother with his first points.
And you love to see that. Only the second 3 made on the year for Strother, but he's got the potential to do that. With Ballo out tonight, I think you'll see extended minutes for Strother.
And again, they take it away at the top of that San Diego offense. And the run out, 2 more for Julian Strother.
Shows you the length there. 2 dribbles from that half-court line extending to a finish.
And again, trouble. And the over and back, turnover number 7 against San Diego. And now Gonzaga, Dan, pulling away up by 10 with the basketball. It was a San Diego lead just literally moments ago.
Oh, 15-0 run now from Gonzaga, and they've done it on the defensive end, getting out in the passing lane. Nembhard, Suggs, and now Strother gets the steal and a transition bucket.
So if you're Sam Scholl, what are you telling your team right now? What do you go back to that could work? You got to find something, right? You're scrambling at this moment.
Well, the 2 passes that were stolen were just great reads defensively by Gonzaga. That time, Sullivan just lost the handle in front of a good defender in Strother at the top.
But you can't give the ball away at the top of your offense.
Especially against a team like Gonzaga that gets from defense to offense as well as anybody in the country right now.
And a chance for 3 inside as they go inside. Vladimir Pinchuk up strong. Foul called on Julian Strother. Maybe that's what USD needed.
They needed something to stem the tide in the run of Gonzaga.
I don't mind that foul.
I don't mind that foul at all. If you are going to foul in such a way that he doesn't get a chance at the 3-point play. You either let him go, get the 2, and move on, or you foul so he can't get the 3-point play.
The fact that the ball went in, but Julian did go into him with some physicality, right?
Yeah.
He did try to make sure Pinchuk, but Pinchuk tough, strong.
USD now in a little 2-3 zone. Don't play a lot of it, but being limited to 7 scholarship guys, you might see it more tonight.
And Suggs with a great backdoor, lost the ball on the way up. The Zags turning the ball over at a rate I don't think they have all season in a half of basketball. Up by 7, and the cut and the finish by Finn Sullivan.
Well, the late pass off of that cut from Sullivan. Because Gonzaga's worried about some of the shooters, there is a lot of space. Sullivan, the recipient.
Timmy, and it drops. Boy, he's just so calm. You need an easy one, just throw it to Drew. Game slows down.
He plays with such patience on the low block, and I think he's becoming more and more comfortable catching on either block. But the nice pass off of the late cut to Finn Sullivan, who's putting together a nice night. But if you're not going to double Drew Timme, this is going to be a long night for San Diego.
Power isn't born.
Brought to you by Pulse Heart Institute. Whether you're at home or in the kennel, MultiCare's team of doctors, nurses, and specialists partner with you all season long. And we focus on that defense. Suggs, great anticipation, takeaway, no-look pass, Kispert, the hammer at the other end. Beautiful basketball.
Beautiful basketball is right, Greg. The anticipation on the defensive end to get out in that passing lane, create the turnover, and then Kispert. Many players will just get comfortable and jog thinking that Suggs was going to keep it himself, but he knows Suggs is a willing playmaker for others. Trail the play, anticipate the drop-off pass, and then finish with some fury.
Zags now 13 of 23 from the floor, 56.5%. Those 6 turnovers will be talked about at halftime. Timme can't convert on the three-point play, but he's already got 12 points and 4 rebounds. And Dan looking like a heck of a prognosticator by talking about Drew Timme in our open. He saw great things coming for the headband tonight. Timme now with his 5th rebound, leaves it for Suggs, who's on the attack, now to Nembhard.
But if you're an opposing coach and you're putting together a scouting report, where do you start? You've got 4 players in Gonzaga that average double figures. Timme with the miss underneath. And those 4 guys shoot over 50% from the field. So it's not like they're volume shooters. They're very efficient. And then you've got a point guard in Nembhard who is incredible at finding guys, takes care of the ball. He's 3.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio on the season.
Foul inside on Goltekin. 7-point game, and Drew Timme now going back to the free throw line. And so Drew Timme, I mean, just a sophomore, a lot of basketball ahead of this guy, Dan. And we get mesmerized by what he can do on the low post. But where do you see the evolution of Drew Timme? What's he got to do to get better?
Well, I mean, as a freshman, he shot 60% from the field. So you looked at his numbers last year and say, well, with Petrushev gone, he's going to have more opportunities. And that's been the case, and he's capitalized on them, averaging almost 19 a game. So he's taken his role, and he's really excelled in it. I think the thing that you're leading to is, where does it lead from here?
And another takeaway by the Zags. It's out of bounds off of number 4, Josh Parrish. So it's Zag basketball, 2:56 to play in the first half. Gonzaga up by 8, a chance to build on it. Timme spins, fall away, falls off.
And to finish that Timme thought is, you know, some people are going to say, well, he needs to shoot the 3 better. Well, if you excel and you can't be stopped in one area of the game, continue to dominate in that area. Yeah, maybe you want to become a little better shooter, but don't work on that and take away your strengths.
Ooh, electrifying finish there by Joey Calcaterra. Ran the baseline, and the acrobatic reverse goes.
First bucket of the night. Gonzaga's done a nice job of limiting his opportunities.
And another whistle and a foul against USD. And a foul called on Finn Sullivan. That's number 1 on him. Anton Watson back into the game for number 1 Gonzaga. Nembhard at the free throw line. Andrew started 67 games for Florida. Already had a great career going down there with the Gators, and then chose to come to Spokane to play for Gonzaga, and it's working out all right for him. Just think about it. I mean, he grew up in Ontario. That's on the other side of the world.
Yeah. Canada.
Well, but still, it's on the East Coast, right? Like, it's
well, that's not the world. That's the continent.
Well,
but,
in our world.
I mean, Gonzaga, again, another international or Canadian that has excelled in this program. The other Canadians that come to mind quickly, Olenek, Sacre, and Pangos.
Yeah, Canada's been good to the Zag program. Here's Watson.
Suggs. 14 on the shot clock. Nembhard to the free throw line, finds Anton Watson, and Anton up and good. Watson's first points of the game. And it's a 9-point Gonzaga lead at 35-26. Sullivan, he liked that spot on the floor, a deep three. And it's back to a 6-point Gonzaga advantage.
He's now got 10 points, 4 assists on the night, coming off a nice game in the win over UP where he had 10 points.
Ayayi. Soft pass to Watson, jump hook, and it goes. Anton showing a little range with that jump hook. Anton with 4 points.
With USD going zone, a nice job from Watson finding the soft spot in the middle of that zone and then being patient.
Sullivan missed the three. Kispert, bang! Corey Kispert with 7 points. He's 1 of 2 from behind the three-point line. He's one of those guys that you wish could just play for 5 or 10 more years in a Zag uniform.
Well, he's going to be playing in the National Basketball Association a year from now. A tremendous story how he's continued to improve, a legit All-American candidate this season.
Calcaterra, that should be the last shot of the half, but Kispert got it away. The heave from our vantage point looked a little closer than it ended up. Okay, a 40-29 lead for Gonzaga. Not a great start to the game for them. Tip your cap to USD. Is Mark Few a little happier going to half with the way they finished that first half?
I think he's happy with that middle stretch. A 15-0 run started to create some separation, but you got to give USD a lot of credit. They came in, executed early, slowed the pace down before Gonzaga was really able to increase that pace and take advantage of their athleticism and speed.
Zag shot 57% from the floor in that first half. They forced USD into 10 turnovers. We're at the half. Number 1 Gonzaga up on USD. San Diego 40-29. Part of the second half between number 1 Gonzaga and the University of San Diego. Drew Timme, Finn Sullivan for the Toreros. Zag basketball as we begin. I'm Greg Heister along with Dan Dickow. Richard Fox on assignment tonight. And the first turnover of the second half goes against GU.
Yeah, only 6 turnovers in that first half. Gonzaga usually comes out in the second half, tries to get a back door. That time they were trying to set it up, but they weren't able to connect.
Turnover number 7 against GU. Here's Finn Sullivan. And this is the way San Diego started the first half. Real deliberate on offense. Drain some clock. And then get a shot at the end of the shot clock. But a foul before that shot by Josh Parrish. And this is on Anton Watson. And that's number 3 on Anton with 29 seconds off the clock here in the second half.
And Anton did a really nice job on Josh Parrish in that first half. Parrish, the second leading scorer for the Toreros on the season, was held scoreless. Transfer from Rice.
And Watson replaced by Andrew Nembhard. And Andrew played great in that first half. 5 points, 4 assists. And the drive, the miss by Josh Parrish, but he'll shoot free throws. Foul called on Jalen Suggs. And that is number 2 on Jalen.
But again, I think that San Diego's making a concerted effort to put the ball in Josh Parrish's hands to start the second half. 2 possessions, 2 fouls drawn. He had a really quiet first half, but he's an explosive athlete. Not a great shooter as he knocks down the first free throw, but somebody who puts the ball on the deck and can put a lot of pressure on the defense to stay in front.
Parrish, 6'4", redshirt senior out of Arlington, Texas. Dan has talked about him playing at Rice University. 1 of 2 from the line. 10-point game at 40-30. And Kispert, transition. Layup is good. Corey Kispert with 2 more. He's got 9 for GU.
Player development is something that Gonzaga prides themselves on, and that's a play that Kispert probably would not have been able to make maybe freshman year for sure. Sophomore year he could start to, and now he gets at least one of those a game, it seems like, where he kind of just probes in transition and finishes through contact.
Marion Humphrey from the elbow. That jump shot won't go. Suggs the rebound. And Jalen with the push down the lane. Somehow got it to Nembhard. Back to Andrew from Ayayi. And there's the bump and a foul on number 33, Ben Pyle. So even when the Zags look a little off kilter on offense, they're able to pin the foul.
Well, a couple of reasons why is so many guys can handle it in transition. Right now, as we get another look at Kispert finishing, you've got 4 guys that can push and make good decisions. And honestly, you could even throw Timmy into that conversation as somebody who can do the same.
Suggs. Timmy crashing the boards, and he is hit hard down there. I believe it's Phillips. It is. Drew slow to get up, but he is up. And I think he took kind of a forearm to the nose.
He's a big, strong kid, I'm sure.
He's a Texan. He's a Texan.
It's not going to bother him.
No way.
Yeah, he did get it pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
It was a good collision. He seems to be one of those bigs who searches out contact, though. Does a great job running the floor in transition and gets deep early seals where he really pins the defense on his hip.
And another foul there on USD. I believe it's Josh Parrish again. Jumper is off, rebounded by Pinchuk. Ben Pyle with it. He hit back-to-back threes in that first half for San Diego. You got to keep an eye on him. He can stretch the defense. Finn Sullivan, 12 on the shot clock. Pinchuk, mid-range jumper won't go. Suggs the rebound. Here's GU on offense. Kispert, 10 feet away. Some contact, no whistle. And Kispert now 4 of 7 from the floor, 9 points. Humphreys. And Drew Timmy did a great job to shut down that baseline. Pinchuk now back to the corner. Humphreys can't make the catch. Turnover number 11 on USD.
This is at the point of the game where USD, because they haven't played as many games, they're still getting to know each other. Do they try to band together and keep playing as a unit? You saw a little frustration creep in there with that turnover. Humphrey subs out, and his body language wasn't great. That can happen pretty easily when you play against a Gonzaga team that just keeps attacking you on both ends of the floor.
Suggs, strength, got his own miss back and converts it. Jalen Suggs with 8 points. That's when I think of Jalen Suggs, that's what I think about, right? The confidence, the grit, the toughness to get to the rim, but then he stays with it, Dan.
Well, he's a very aggressive player who honestly almost had Gonzaga's second triple-double in the program history after Joel Ayayi got the first against Portland.
How about the defense from Corey Kispert? That's what he's really worked on throughout his career. And again, stands up, Parrish, and then just swats it backwards. Tie-up called, Gonzaga ball. Actually, USD ball.
He's made tremendous strides on that end of the floor, has Kispert. I think he's always been able to be a decent on-ball defender or good on-ball defender, but he's really gotten better in help side and off the ball over the last couple of years.
Timmy got deep position. Entry pass from Suggs, but I think the foul came before the bucket. It'll go on Pinchuk.
But again, in transition, if you're watching a couple of these next possessions, Drew Timmy runs directly to the rim and creates contact with the USD bigs to seal him and give a target for Gonzaga's perimeter players to find him.
And so deep, right? I mean, he wasn't 10 feet from the bucket. He was literally under it.
He tries to put you in the basket.
Ayayi with the drive, the finish. Joel with his first bucket. He's got 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Before it's all said and done, Joel Ayayi generally fills up a stat sheet. 16-point lead now for Gonzaga. Sam Scholl and San Diego the timeout. 46-30 our score. Gonzaga trying to get to 16-0 on the season. Back in a moment. Number 1 Gonzaga with a 16-point lead on San Diego, 46-30. Greg Heister, Dan Dickout. Let's take a look at the West Coast Conference Ken Palm rankings. You've been making the case now for years that the West Coast Conference is a really good league. These numbers back that up.
I think they do, and I know you and Richard, when he's in the booth with us, tend to disagree with me, but
is that what the roll of the eyes
They're
mean?
the 8th ranked league, according to Ken Palm, who's literally become the guru of analytics at the college level. The fact that Gonzaga has separated themselves even more over the last few years,
that's true,
I think is obvious. But I think if you look at this year's league and you look at 2 through 8, any of those teams on any night could beat the other. We saw it the other night. Pepperdine beat BYU yesterday. St. Mary's already has 3 losses on the year. Granted, they've had a couple injuries that has really affected them. But the league has gotten better, but Gonzaga has also gotten immensely better.
Suggs creates that turnover. The 12th of the game for San Diego, and Kispert down the lane, the lay-in, and a whistle. Kind of hard to see what's going on with a tight shot. We'll figure it out. We're going to a break again. Corey Kispert, 2 more on the drive. Gonzaga's lead growing. Craig Pavilion, that call right before we went to break. Timeout, Gonzaga. Up by 18 at 48-30. So obviously, Coach Few saw something that he wanted to point out.
Yeah, right after another timeout. So it's got to be something to cover.
Okay, breaking news stinger again. We've got an update. It was a clock warning. A flop warning is what we've been told now. So it was a flop warning.
Thanks for the clarification, Greg.
Yeah, well, here's a look at that flop by Jalen Suggs. I don't know. I've seen a lot worse than that.
I have seen a lot worse.
There was a lot of contact.
I mean, he took a lot of contact in the chest. Yeah, he did try to sell it, but
well, don't you have to, though?
Warning. Yeah,
you're never going to take that out of the game.
Yeah, especially as a guard when you're trying to stand up a big on a post-up like that. You have to take the hit, and then you have to sell it to a certain extent to get the call.
Especially when it's a post guy working on a guard down there. Anyways, moving on.
Maybe the worst flop in Gonzaga history is actually on this floor, made by yours truly in the WCC tournament against Pepperdine. Thankfully, they didn't have the flop warning back then.
And got inside was Jared Rodriguez. Trying to stay with it, but finally Kispert grabs it for GU.
And they switched again. Suggs guarding that low block. And stood up the big on the contact. Didn't flop that time.
And the offensive foul. That goes against Corey Kispert on that drive. His first personal foul. Another look at it. Oh, sure looked like Yavu's Goltikin was moving to me.
Yeah, the block charge is such a difficult call, and
he was backing up, though.
It looked to me as if he was backing up. I would agree. I mean, as an offensive player, you want to be aggressive and create contact, but if the defense is getting out of the way, you can't give them the benefit of the doubt.
And there's a good bucket by Yavu's Goltikin. The left hand, Kispert right at it, though, at the other end. Oh, the touch on that shot.
Well, I think the charge call lit a fire under Mr. Kispert. That looked like a determined attack off the bounce to a nice floater.
Kispert with 13 points. Gonzaga's lead is at 18. Suggs almost took it away. Loose ball. And it's picked up by Rodriguez. And now Sullivan left wide open as Kispert had fallen down. Sullivan takes advantage of that opening and buries the 3. Sullivan with 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting. If I'm San Diego, you got to find him more shots.
Without a doubt. You've got to find ways to get him pick and roll opportunities or bring him off a pin down, because he's been great tonight.
Nemhard. First of all, he got that long rebound off that miss from 3, and then able to find Timmy on a nifty little pass.
And this is something that we haven't touched on yet tonight. Gonzaga's guards, the trio of them, Ayayi, Suggs, and Nembhard. You could even throw Kispert in the mix as he nails the trail three. Those guards, perimeters, rebound as well as any individual perimeter player in Gonzaga history, and you have 4 of them that do that.
Hey, don't wake the sleeping giant. Kispert's transition 3 is absolutely stunning. I love it. Suggs with the vision, huh? Ayayi.
Flatten the defense, and then Ayayi, just such a high IQ to understand the game and make the extra correct pass. And when Kispert is on balance, such as that play, which he is more times than not, it's almost an automatic 3 points if nobody's near him contesting, because he has picture-perfect form.
And he's so confident with that jump shot now. My word. He's 7 of 10 from the floor, 16 points. Here's the AP top 10 entering tonight. Gonzaga 15-0. We talked about the fact they won 19 in a row going back to last year. Only Winthrop is in front with a 20-0 number. They're playing tonight, trying to get an update on that game. But Baylor right there at number 2, and that debate, I'm one of these guys that hopes they don't play before the NCAA tournament. I want the mystery of that game to live on until the showdown, if it happens.
Yeah, there's been talk about both teams trying to figure out a way to replay the game that was scheduled for early December. But I'm with you, Greg. If there's a chance for the NCAA's tournament selection committee to keep them on opposite sides of the bracket, by chance they both continue to improve and are undefeated going into that possible matchup, that would be a game for the ages. I don't think you could say they would be, either one of them would be the greatest team of all time, which I know a lot of Gonzaga fans would like to think that, but you know, the fact that they've had great seasons in such a weird topsy-turvy year would be a great end to college basketball.
Man, I tell you what, Ben Piles got a jump shot. 6'7" former Mr. Kansas basketball. He's got 3 threes. Count the bucket, though, at the other end. And, of course, it's Drew Timme. Hey, we got breaking news, though, not to interrupt you. Breaking news. Winthrop has just won their 21st consecutive game. I think it was Asheville they were playing tonight, won that game by 3 or 4. So Gonzaga, with a win tonight, gets to 20-0.
Well, congrats to Winthrop, the Eagles of the Southland Conference. We had a chance to take another couple looks at that Drew Timme, Big South Conference for Winthrop. But that low post move, that's what you call a big boy move. You get him on the low block and you just lower your shoulder, and there's nothing the defense can do about it.
Drew Timme, another fantastic night for him. Gonzaga up 58-38. Timme with 18 points now. And putting the ball on the floor, and a nice finish by Yavuz Goltakin. Goltakin starting to pile up some points. He's up to 6. Nembhard into the corner. Suggs loves that 3-point shot tonight. This one goes in, and it's a chance for 4.
Spacing of Suggs staying deep in the corner allowed him the opportunity for the 3-point play, because Nembhard sucks in the defense. Sullivan, a long closeout, fouls Suggs, a chance at the 4-point play. But watching Nembhard and Suggs together, how do you guard it?
Because you've devastating.
It is. You've got 2 very aggressive ball handlers that can attack the defense, get you on your heels, and they're both willing passers.
Jalen now with 11 points, 4 of 7 from the floor, but 3 of 4 from downtown. His first free throw of the game goes. Gonzaga now with their largest lead at 22. They're up 62-40. And again, Suggs, great anticipation, and a 2-handed flush. How many turnovers have we seen, the steals at the top of the San Diego offense now?
The angles for San Diego have been
Like,
not good
Okay.
to get into entry areas and to get into attacking points. But Suggs and Ayayi and Nemhard have done a nice job of sniffing it out and taking advantage. Suggs with the big-time finish.
but you can't keep letting him do that. Use a little deception, maybe a little pump fake, do something.
Yeah, but let's take another look at this one.
Boom!
The elevation. Jalen Suggs, the Zags.
To San Diego, California, throwback. This is a shot from a year ago. Outside Jenny Craig Pavilion, I believe that is, in the dark. Here is your multicam play of the game. Multicare Health Systems, you're at home or in the kennel. Multicare's team of doctors, nurses, and specialists partner with you all season long. Zag defense, run out offense.
Gonzaga has gotten in the passing lanes multiple times throughout the night, but that was a terrific job from Suggs, anticipating that flat entry pass from wing up to the top. And then it's just a matter of off to the races, and I don't think anybody on San Diego's backcourt is going to beat Suggs in a race to an opportunity to get a dunk, and that was a nice finish.
Jalen now 5 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 4 from 3, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 14 points. I was watching ESPN today, and I forget the pundit, but they had him as the 4th pick in the upcoming NBA draft. You think he's a top 5 guy, Dan?
I do. I think he is a tremendous talent. He's somebody that plays extremely hard. I think he's selfless, making teammates better. He's competitive. I think defensively he's beyond his years for a freshman. I think offensively he's really going to have to improve his jump shot, but from talking to the coaches and how he approaches and views the game and works at it, that will come in time, because that's such a necessary part of the game at that next level, is the ability to consistently knock it down from deep.
Ball kicked out of bounds by Marion Humphrey, and we breezed over it in the first half, but the family of Marion Humphrey, his brother Marlon plays cornerback for the Baltimore Ravens. In my opinion, he's a future Hall of Fame quarterback. Great player. His father Bobby, All-America at Alabama, running the football, played with the Denver Broncos, helped get John Elway to 1 or 2 of his Super Bowls back in the day. So that family with great genetics, that ball out of bounds off of GU goes to San Diego.
Rare mistake from Timmy. Bigs are taught to keep it high on the catch, directly into the finish. That time brings it down and gets slapped away off his knee out of bounds. Coach Few is always going to find something to work on. That, I'm sure, will be pointed out in film session tomorrow.
Humphrey inside, shot was blocked. And Kispert, the trailing Ayayi from deep, that's short, front of the rim. Sullivan, the long rebound this time, chased by Suggs, threw it up, and somehow Pinchuk got a hand on that pass. I think it was Pinchuk or Rodriguez, but either way, that ball was up there. It was Rodriguez. I didn't think there was any chance of him getting a hand on that ball.
Well, Sullivan couldn't quite corral it in transition, and I think the ball slipped as he started to throw that lob. But you're right, Greg. I didn't think there was any way Rodriguez was going to get a hand on it even.
Well, I tell you what, though, that's frightening from my perspective to watch Jalen Suggs in pursuit, defensively coming up behind the ball like that. That to me is where he's great. Like, he may not be a great on-ball defender yet, but recovery defense, the guy's spectacular. He is really good at chasing the ball down.
Well, I think a lot of it is his anticipation. I mean, he tends to see plays as they develop quicker than other players, and then he's able to use his athleticism and his instinct, his quickness to attack what he sees.
Will he become a good shutdown defender?
Yeah,
does he have that in him?
I think he does have that in him. We've seen it in stretches this season. But again, as a freshman, that's a hard ask for a point guard to be the head of your defense, because you have so many responsibilities defensively as a point guard. You have to understand scouting report. You have to understand individual scouting report, strengths, weaknesses, relay play calls to the bench. and be that, set the tone for your team that dribble penetration is not going to happen. I'm going to fight through ball screens, and I'm going to be vocal.
But that's one of the beauties of this program, Dan, when they're able to get, you know, everybody was a high school star when they come to Gonzaga, right? They all scored 25 points a game or more. So to get them to come here and buy into the team and to defend and do all the little things that win games, that's what's been impressive to me for Gonzaga.
Without a doubt, and that speaks to the culture that has been created at Gonzaga all these years. They find guys that fit the style on the floor, and how they want to play is Timmy gets another chance at the three-point play, but they have to fit on the court with their skill set, but then they have to fit culturally as far as, are they willing to give up a piece of their game and maybe some accolades individually to be a part of a great team? And if you can't do that, you're not going to have success at Gonzaga.
If you're a young post out there watching a guy like Drew Timme play, not a guy that plays above the rim, when we see all these nifty moves and these great feet that separate him, I think, from many people his size on this planet, can you learn it? Can a young guy that wants to play on the post go out and practice the kind of moves that he makes and eventually excel at it? Yeah. Or is it God-given, like we see somebody be able to leap and dunk a ball?
No, you can learn quite a bit of it, but you have to start with the skill set of your footwork. Quick stops, balance, pivoting, and then head and shoulder fake, shot fakes to be able to lead into what you're seeing, those spectacular moves by Timme around and through defenders.
68-43 the score, 9 minutes 49 seconds to play here in the second half. And foul called there on Josh Parrish. And that's his third or fourth. It's his third personal foul. And Aaron Cook at the free throw line, redshirt senior out of St. Louis, Missouri. Played for the Salukis, of course, in his career. Last year, his senior year, broke his hand, played just 6 games, and decided he wanted to go out with a splash. Came to Gonzaga and finds himself on the #1 ranked team in the country, and he's been a nice piece.
He has. Gonzaga's had great success in the grad transfer market. You look at Byron Wesley, Gino Crandall, Ryan Woolridge a season ago, Jordan Matthews, who hit the three to propel Gonzaga to their first Final Four. They find guys in that grad transfer market that fit.
Do you think it was Byron Wesley that kind of started that trend?
I mean, I believe he was the first, as Yabo Goltekin gets the putback. I believe he was the first, and he kind of set the tone on how it was going to work in the future.
Because there's got to be an example, right? Like, somebody's got to be the first. When you're sitting out there and you want to take your skills as a grad transfer and pick a team to go to, you want to make sure you're going to a place that, number one, it's going to work out, it's going to pay off, and you can fit in, and you can become a part of what they're doing right away.
And it's something that is, in the last 5 or 6 years in college basketball, has become more prevalent. The first grad transfer that I can remember would have been Kevin Kruger, who went from Arizona State to UNLV to play for his father, Lon. That's the first one that I can remember, and that was about 15 years or so ago.
Because it is oftentimes, as there's the pass from Dominic Harris, but taken away by Sullivan, and now Calcaterra down the lane. Loose ball. Kispert runs it down in the corner. But oftentimes these programs are being tested, right? A guy like Jalen Suggs comes to Gonzaga. You know Chet Holmgren's looking at how it works out for Jalen.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you're talking about Jalen Suggs being a potential top 5 pick. Gonzaga's now in the mix recruiting-wise with other guys. Paulo Banchero, a great player from Seattle, ended up signing with Duke. Chet Holmgren is another one that you mentioned is the #1 recruit as a senior this year, and Gonzaga is on his short list. There's a kid, Hunter Salas, out of Omaha, Nebraska, that is very similar to Jalen Suggs in how he would fit because of his skill set and his basketball IQ and his athleticism.
Yeah, it's working out really well. I can't think of somebody who came to Gonzaga where they didn't leave with a great experience. At the free throw line is Josh Parrish. Parrish with just a point in this game, 3 rebounds and 1 assist. And off on that free throw.
These
Here's
are important minutes for Dominic Harris. He's, in the last couple of possessions, He's almost turned it over. He's a little bit hesitant. I think he's got a bright future. He's just still finding his way.
Plays with a lot of energy. Nembhard, elbow jump shot, long, rebounded Finn Sullivan. Parrish down the lane right at Kispert and scores. Good bucket. Parrish with 3. Kispert, transition 3 open. It's just,
but if you're
kidding?
USD, if you're going to locate one shooter in transition, it's that guy.
If there's one guy in the country,
yes,
it's that guy.
He's shooting nearly 50% from that three-point line. You got to take away layups, match up in transition, and locate him and get him off the three-point line.
Kispert runs in transition with like Christmas lights on him. Poked away. Ayayi with a chance, picks it up. Now Gonzaga with a 4-on-1. Now back to Joel. Lay in from Timmy.
Nice basketball. Ayayi gives it up. Timmy returns the favor.
And a whistle and a timeout. Sam Scholl trying to keep his guys positive. Gonzaga pulling away against San Diego. Up 74-48. Another takeaway at the top of that San Diego offense. Ayayi, the lay-in.
Is brought to you by Numerica Credit Union. This season, Numerica Credit Union is proud to celebrate every Gonzaga assist with a $100 donation up to $7,500 to Children's Miracle Network in support of local sick and injured children. Numerica Credit Union. Life moves. Live well.
And welcome back to West Coast Conference basketball. Number 1 Gonzaga up on San Diego 74-48. We've got 6 minutes 54 seconds to play. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow. There's Coach Few. And there's Sam Scholl. Sam been around the West Coast Conference a long time now.
He's been at USD for quite some time, originally from the Seattle area. So he knows this Gonzaga program.
But a long-time assistant in the West Coast Conference as well. This is Parrish. Anton Watson back on the floor. He's keeping an eye on Calcaterra. Here's Finn Sullivan deep. Suggs watching him. Great move to get inside. Parrish, the flush got around Ayayi.
Shows his explosiveness. Gonzaga's bottled him up for the most part tonight. Only his second made bucket. But Ayayi, you've got to close out to Parrish knowing he's non-shooter. You can't give him that direct line drive to the rim.
Julian Strother is second 3 of the game. Big bucket in the first half and back-to-back buckets in the first. And now off the bench, his first hit.
Well, when you score 30 a game in high school, it's only a matter of time before you get comfortable and do it at the college level. But Parrish, you got to square him up on the catch. It's the second time I've given him an angle to the rim.
Parrish with broad shoulders and Watson inside. And he's another guy that could play some football. But when I look at Josh Parrish, big broad shoulders for USD, I'm surprised he's not playing football for him down there.
Well, he's been a nice piece for Sam Scholl.
Ben Pyle
knocks down another triple, but you know, Parrish is a transfer from Rice. He's learning the system at USD, understanding what positions he can be put in to be successful, and it's starting to come together for him.
Nembhard misses the turnaround. Watson, great rebound. Another chance for the Zags. Strother. And now Suggs sets it up. And the deflection by Calcaterra trying to go to Watson inside. This is Humphreys with it. And he's stripped by Ayayi. Suggs down the lane, and Jalen will shoot free throws with 4:54 to play. Zags 6-0 in the West Coast Conference, 15-0 overall.
Ranked number 1 in the country for the 6th time now in program history. And a win tonight will get them to their 20th consecutive win dating back to a year ago. This program is in a place where few have been in the last 30 years.
It's impressive. And if you look at the landscape of college basketball this year, you can blame your inconsistencies on COVID or different things, but the fact of the matter is you've got to recruit the right guys for your program. Gonzaga has done that, and it's improved even since the Final Four. But you're looking at Michigan State, Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky. Those blue bloods are on the borderline right now of making or missing the NCAA tournament.
Sullivan buries the three. He's got a good-looking shot. I said this in the first half. He's now 6 of 7 from the floor. You got to get him more shots. Actually, he's 5 of 6. I gave him one extra one. I didn't really. It did upset.
You're foreseeing the future.
6 of 7.
He's got another one coming.
Sullivan now with 16 points for San Diego.
Suggs gets hung up on that screen. Not sure if Gonzaga was going to switch that 1-4 ball screen with Watson. Watson has the ability to switch out, but if you're going to do it, it has to be communicated between both players.
So a timeout on the floor with an 81-58 score in 4 minutes and 35 seconds to play. And look, for San Diego, Sam Scholl, his team, just as their 9th game of the year. He's still coaching. He's not even sure what he's got yet as a team. They haven't played enough games yet. So these are all important coaching moments. And for Gonzaga, when there is a subtle breakdown like that defensively, Coach Few's got an opportunity to point that out, coach, as well, even though it's an 81-58 game.
And that's one of the great things about Coach Few. Even though they are having tremendous success, he's in beating teams by over a 20-point per game margin. He's not lessening his standards in any way, shape, or form dependent on who they're playing. He wants you to play the right way. If a ball screen coverage or a defensive rotation is supposed to be done, he expects it to be done. He expects spacing and execution on the offensive end. And that's what championship coaches do.
Ben Pyle. And it's dumped through by Pinchuk. And it's 81-60 now. And another chance for Gonzaga. Suggs posting up. Got into Sullivan. Ball fell off. Sullivan acted like an elbow got up. And San Diego now with an opportunity down by 21. Parrish. Backed in on Strother, got him in the air.
Backed him down is right.
And he'll shoot free throws. 3:41 to play. It's San Diego. Gonzaga up 81-60. And welcome back. 3:41 to play. Number 1 Gonzaga up on San Diego 81-60. Time now to announce tonight's player of the game, presented by A to Z Rental. No job is too big or too small. With 8 convenient locations, we rent everything. Let A to Z Rental be your most valuable player. And of course tonight, Drew Timme. He's been all world. Love this guy.
Hey, 22 against Pacific the other night. He's followed it up with a 21-point effort, 8 of 13 from the field. If you're an opposing coach and you're putting together a scouting report, what do you do with Drew Timme?
Right.
Because if you double him, his
done.
IQ, he's going to read it. He's going to pass out of the double team. If you play him single coverage with his footwork, he is going to spin off you. He's going to shot fake you up and under you. It is a difficult task.
And you saw all game, San Diego chose to play in front of him, try to deny the pass, and all Gonzaga did was throw the ball over the defense.
And that's part of the high-low game that Gonzaga has used for so many years. High-low, 4-man to a 5 from the top of the key to the low block, and Timme does a nice job of pushing his defender up the lane to give angles for that.
And great recovery defense there by Ayayi. And give it up. Sullivan had a chance, but Ayayi just took it away. And the lob to Julian Strother from Aaron Cook. Explosive 2 points there for Julian. And Strother now with 8 points for GU.
And the turnover against San Diego, number 17. Sam Scholl calling out 5.
This is, one of those things. Once you get into league play, every program knows each other so unbelievably well. You know play calls, actions on sets, the second and third options of different things. But anytime you can get a verbal cue for a play set, you definitely take note.
There's a nice finish for Anton Watson. He's got 8 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. 25-point lead for GU. This is Sullivan. Pinchuk. Anton Watson with the poke. Back to Sullivan, 4 on the shot clock. Pinchuk, jump hook goes at the horn. 85-62. Pinchuk with 11. Watson the jump shot. And Anton now into double digits with 10.
It's been a quiet 10.
Yes.
He hasn't played a lot tonight with the 4 fouls. 23 earlier this year against Portland on the road. He's somebody that I think is going to have a huge impact on how well Gonzaga continues to improve. I think he hasn't yet hit his potential for this season.
Nembhard. Yeah, Anton, 10 points in 15 minutes of action. Great cut. And Sullivan there with the defense to block Dominic Harris near the rim.
Well, Sullivan's got a career high of 25 against Pepperdine, but this might go down as his best game played against the #1 Zags. He's been terrific on the offensive end with 16 points. He's competed. That was a nice block.
That's Nembhard trying to do his best to keep Pinchuk away, and he did. Shot short by Жерdy. And Harris tripped, and a blocking foul called on Finn Sullivan. 1:05 to play now. Gonzaga up 87-62. And you said it a few moments ago, we may have been during the break, but regardless of how well they played offensively in the first half, Gonzaga is going to get close to 100 points. They're going to do it. They're going to be close.
Yeah, averaging 94 a game on the season. They've topped the 100-point mark 3 times, and then they've had 99 and 98, and the 98 was against Virginia, who has been considered probably the best defensive program over the last 8 to 10 years under Tony Bennett. And that win in Texas that they had, where Timmy had a really good game with 28 points, Kispert 32 points with 9 made threes. That's becoming a even better win as the season goes on, because Virginia now is ranked, I believe, in the top 10. If not, they're just barely outside of.
Look, it was shocking to me when they played Kansas and put 100 points on Kansas.
Yes.
We can talk about defense with Virginia yet, but Kansas also known for their defense. They just usually have the guys that can play well at both ends, but that was an amazing effort to me.
Well, the other amazing one was the 116 points at University of Portland. Granted, it's not the level of competition as other schools you mentioned, but 29 assists, including Ayayi's first program triple-double.
And more free throws coming for Gonzaga and Julian Strother. Julian with 10 points, 1 rebound, 1 steal. Freshman from Las Vegas at 6'7", 205. And a cool kid. And now with 11 points. And had a chance at that rebound, did Ben Gregg, the freshman from Clackamas, Oregon. Zags have hit 90. Humphreys, Arlauskas in there, number 5 for GU as well. Rodriguez down the lane, missed the shot. And the rebound, and that's going to be our final score, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, Gonzaga, with their 20th straight win. Winthrop won tonight, so they remain with the longest active winning streak in college basketball right now at 21. But number 1, Gonzaga, right there with 20 consecutive wins. They're now 16-0 on the season, 7-0 inside the West Coast Conference. And I don't want to call it a ho-hum win because none of these are, but a real business feel to this team right now. They win it 90-62. We'll take a timeout. We've got more when we come back. Greg and Dan at the KHQ Studios, Gonzaga with the win in San Diego.